welcome to the first U.S.-Ukrainian
Ukrainian and American Business Forum, and the main idea of this such a high-level meeting between Ukrainian officials and American is making the ties between the countries. Needless to say, Ukrainian Prime Minister and 5 other ministers were presented on the different stages of the event. From the American side, the Secretary of Commerce and the Vice President Joseph Biden. According to Ivaras Abramovich, the Economy Minister of Ukraine, the main idea was not actually in the making the deals or shaking hands, but to assure American investors that Ukraine is absolutely different country comparing to the last year, and it is the country on the way of the reforms, and the new government is understanding the responsibilities for every step, especially in inviting foreign companies to invest in Ukrainian economy. But despite of all the expectations of Ukrainian officials, a few agreements were reached during the event.
Also heard from some American companies that they are about to announce a transaction about the nuclear waste basically utilization facilities to build in Ukraine, among other things. We expect 2 private equity funds to announce their intention to invest in the electricity sector, including Centrenergo here as well. So as we progress, there are quite a few transactions that are going to be announced, which is a success, because primary goal of this conference is not necessarily to go around, shake hands and receive the money. The process of attracting investment is much longer.
For American officials, the most interesting sectors to invest are Ukrainian agriculture and everything about the food processing, food retailing, and also gas and oil sectors, IT, and human resources.
Well, the things that I think we focused on today, there are really great opportunities. There is agribusiness, there is information economy, there are energy and infrastructure and pharmaceuticals. I think there are really strong opportunities, and we wouldn't have chosen those areas if the U.S. business community didn't see potential and opportunities in those areas.
First of all, the Vice President Biden welcomed the Ukrainians and even emphasized how close they are with Ukrainian Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk after all the years of their cooperation. The other key point, Joe Biden welcomed the police reform in Ukraine and the Ukrainian way of cutting the consumption of the Russian gas from 60% of its total on 2010 to 15% for now. But Biden also emphasized on the thing which needs to be done immediately: Ukraine must cut the corruption. Biden delivered his clear message to President Poroshenko and to the Prime Minister Yatsenyuk about the necessity of cutting the corruption immediately. Even more, and this is probably one of the most unexpected things for Ukrainian officials in D.C. during their visit. Biden invited them for a private meeting in his office, and the President Obama joined the company. He was presented on the meeting for 10 minutes. The whole meeting in the White House with the Vice President took more than an hour, and the main message of the head of the state to Ukrainians was even more straight, and Barack Obama also talked about the corruption.
This is it, Mr. Prime Minister. This is it. The next couple years, the next couple months will go a long way to telling the tale. If you do what I believe you will, your country will owe you, Europe will owe you, and we will owe you. Because the cumulative impact of Ukraine, economically secure and sound, will have a profound impact. The ambassadors heard me say many times when I pushed for these loan guarantees, it's a matter of pay me now or pay me later. A matter of pay me now or pay me later. So folks, all of you in this room, the business elite of this country, have an opportunity, which is the only basis on which you should make a decision, to benefit your shareholders because of real opportunity. But in the process, I would think you should take some sense of satisfaction. You're also making a judgment that is profoundly in the foreign policy interest of the United States of America. A successful Ukraine will tell the story about what Europe's going to look like, I believe, for the next 15 or 20 years. Like the basic rules of physics, there are certain immutable rules or laws that comprise the path to stability and prosperity for any nation in the 21st century. Among other things, they include transparency, a rule of law, consistent enforcement, protection of intellectual property, a functioning state institution that serves the people. Without these institutions, the business leaders from all across this room and across the world are unlikely to invest in Ukraine or anywhere else where these rules do not pertain. To attract the type of investment that will allow Ukraine to survive and thrive, the changes being enacted now have to be real and have to be lasting. They cannot just be reforms on paper. They have to be tangible for business people, for civil society, and for ordinary citizens on the street, for any of it to work. Above all, Ukraine needs to confront the corruption that has kept this country from taking advantage of the tremendous human capital it possesses. It doesn't seem like 36 calls. It seems like 100 probably to Arseniy and to the president. But that's a topic of almost all of our calls. Corruption siphons away resources and weakens economic growth. It destroys trust in government. It hollows out militaries. And it's an affront to the dignity of the people of Ukraine.
At the same time, American officials praised a few very key figures in the governments of both countries. Finance Minister Natalka was praised for her incredible job made for improving the Ukrainian economy. Needless to say, here in the DC and in the United States, she is one of the key figures almost in all negotiations between Americans and Ukrainians. She is Ukrainian and American speaking fluently both languages, and she was a successful business lady before she joined the Ukrainian government. And seems like here in DC, especially in financial sectors, she is well known as the outstanding professional. The other one key figure by Biden is the ambassador of the United States to Ukraine, Jeffrey Pyatt.
We have something in common, the Prime Minister and I. We both have extremely strong American women that are guiding the economy for us. The best thing that happened, Madam Finance Minister, stand up. Let everybody see you. Stand up, please. Stand up. I tell you what. If this isn't proof that good things come in American packages, I don't know what else you need. But you're doing a great job, I say to the finance minister. By the way, we've got an incredible ambassador. We're fortunate to have one of the best that we have in the entire foreign policy establishment.
Prime Minister Yatsenyuk invited Americans to jump up into the Ukrainian economy. According to him, the most attractive sectors are agriculture, IT and engineering. He also welcomed Americans to join the privatization of the state-owned enterprises.
So please, American investors, jump in. We are happy to see you in Ukraine. So we have a huge potential, and you saw it on the footage, huge one. This is the potential, and I missed another asset which we have in Ukraine. This is the new generation. Let me call this new generation as Generation I, intellectual, independent, and internet dependent. So this asset will definitely drive economic boost in Ukraine. Let me focus on the key areas of our future cooperation. The first one is agriculture. The second one is energy. The third one is infrastructure. And the fourth one is that we ask American business to participate in a large-scale privatization.
Prime Minister left to Canada to set the final agreement between free trading zones. And after the forum, Ukrainian and American officials also signed so-called Free Sky Agreement.